Yep, still painting. So let's start off with something a little more satisfying than another sanding and painting montage. I took some time and installed the tubes and tires onto the rims. These gazelles are really tight, but they eventually went on. Moving on to the frame, I pulled off the sticker on the front in case I might need it. I'm not sure how registration is going to go, so if I need to put it back on, I will. And then the frame gets stripped. I have just enough of this can of stripper left, I think, so that I can do the tank and the rear body panel. By the way, I'm really digging this week's music. Most of it is from a band called ELFL, so check them out. Speaking of that, I get all my music from a company called Epidemic Sound. They aren't sponsoring this video, they're just a great company that allows me to focus on working on my moped instead of finding music that I can legally use. They already helped me out through one copyright issue on YouTube, so check them out too. So after a lot of thinking, I decided to only take 2 things off of the frame. Those 2 things are some little hooks for hanging a hand tire pump and a clip for a cable that comes from the headlamp. I decided to take those off because I'm going to be doing something different with the cables, and the hand pump is not going back on the bike. And all the other brackets for things might be useful in the future. For example, I might end up putting on side covers, and I might make up some engine covers for this bike. It depends on how it looks once it's actually up. The little hooks come off with a cutting disc and a sandpaper wheel, and the cable clip comes off with a Dremel with a cutting wheel on it and a sanding drum because it's too small to get the grinder in there. Okay, a little bit of painting this week just on the frame. It gets wiped down and then primed. I sanded and gave it about 3 coats of primer. Onto the lock. The locksmith stopped by and looked at the lock, and after a few days said it would cost about $200 to have the key cut to fit, which is a little bit too much for my budget, so I decided to try to pick the lock in order to remove it, and then replace the whole lock. Now the lock was actually seized in there, which I didn't find out until I did an autopsy on it afterwards, but I spent 2 hours trying to pick the lock before I moved on to using a drill. There's a pin in there that holds the lock in place when the cover is removed, and you can drill through that pin and the lock will just pop out. Now I went in at a little bit of an angle, so I might have screwed the whole thing up, but we'll just have to see when the replacement lock arrives. With that done, we're moving on to paint. The clear coat has been ordered, and when it gets here, I will be done with paint other than the tank and the body, and that's a whole different ball game. I gave the fork tubes a quick buff, but they were already in pretty good shape, so they look nice. And then I moved on to the tank. I want to get all the stripping behind me. That's a messy and dangerous job, so the faster it's over, the better. I did find when I was pulling stuff off the tank that the petcock fuel filter was missing, and it was rattling around inside the tank. So I ended up using an endoscope and a part grabber to fish it out of there. I actually have footage of the endoscope, so here's that. and then I scraped the stickers off the tank. Now you can see that the sun was setting as I did this, so I did strip the tank that evening, but you've seen me strip enough stuff already, so I won't bore you with that footage. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying following along on this project, please leave a comment down below and like and subscribe. When I reach 100 subscribers, I'll be sending all my subscribers moped stickers with the G3 on them. You can see pictures of those stickers over on Instagram, so check us out there at Analog Vector. Thanks for watching.